it's Audrie. Now that the fall season is here, I thought that I would do another what I eat in a day video, except this time it's gonna be all about pumpkin spice. I was feeling pretty festive and put together 4 different recipes that incorporate homemade pumpkin puree that you can easily make at home. These are all vegan as well, but you can tweak the meals if you would like to. You certainly don't have to eat all of these in one day either, as it is a lot of pumpkin, but let's just get into it. I'm going to show you how I made my pumpkin puree first. I picked up 2 small sugar pumpkins from the store, and that was enough for everything. You'll just need to cut a pumpkin in half and scoop out all of the seeds and strands until the insides are all cleaned out. And then I like to cut off the ends and my pumpkin into smaller pieces. I take about half a cup of water and pour it into my pressure cooker, and then place the pumpkin pieces on top of a rack on the inside to steam for about 15 minutes. If you don't have a pressure cooker, you can also roast your pumpkin in the oven at 350 degrees for an hour or so. I just prefer this method instead, as it is a lot faster. Once the time is up, I just take my pumpkin out, and it's so soft at this point that the skins just fall off, and I put everything into a bowl. You can put this into a blender for a smoother texture, but I find it to be pretty smooth already, so I just mash it up with a fork and it's ready to use. So of course I have to share how I make the most basic fall recipe there is, which is the pumpkin spice latte. My husband likes to make these for me and starts off by putting about a spoonful of the puree into a mug, a little bit of nutmeg, cinnamon, and agave or maple syrup to taste. Then he'll pull 2 espresso shots and add that into the mug, stirring everything together until it's completely melted. You can use whatever type of milk you have, but I like to steam almond milk because I prefer the taste of it, and I find that it foams nicely in comparison to other dairy-free alternatives. This is totally optional, but I also like to add a bit of cinnamon on top to finish. For breakfast, I'm going to show you how I make my pumpkin spice oatmeal. Super simple and easy. You'll just need to boil 1 cup of water and a little bit of salt in a pot. Once the water is boiling, you'll add half a cup of rolled oats, stirring and keeping it covered on low heat until it looks something like this. Transferring my oatmeal into a bowl, I like to stir in about 2 scoops of pumpkin, nutmeg, cinnamon, agave syrup, and a splash of almond milk, topping it all off with some pumpkin seeds and cinnamon at the end. For lunch, I usually like to have a sandwich and soup, so I wanted to make a pumpkin soup and vegan grilled cheese sandwiches. I start off by dicing up 2 shallots, mincing up some garlic, and sauteing that in a little bit of olive oil. Then I'll add about 2 cups of pumpkin puree, 1 cup of vegetable stock, 1 cup of almond milk, some pepper, cinnamon, nutmeg, and more salt to taste. For the grilled cheese sandwiches, I think it's pretty self-explanatory, but my husband and I do like to use a particular type of cheese and butter, both of which are vegan, but you can use whatever you have in your fridge. This is probably my favorite meal to have on a cold fall day. Last of all, dinner. I really like having pasta for dinner, so I decided to make a pumpkin sauce to go on top of some pumpkin-shaped pasta made of butternut squash that I found at the store. Whenever I make pasta, I always start with boiling that first and then making the sauce while I'm waiting for it to cook. Here I have maybe half a cup of raw cashews soaked in hot water that I then added to my blender. I also added 2 cups of pumpkin puree, half a cup of veggie stock, some garlic, and some salt before blending. In a separate pan, I'll add a little bit of olive oil and some mushrooms to cook, then cut up some more shallots and garlic and add to that as well. Once that's cooked through, I'll add in my sauce and stir in some sun-dried tomatoes and spinach for a little bit more color. To finish, I just put a little pasta onto a plate, add the sauce, pumpkin seeds, pepper, and some more sun-dried tomatoes before digging in. So that is going to be it for my pumpkin crazy recipes. I hope you enjoyed and that some of you end up trying at least one of these recipes out. I think they're perfectly season appropriate. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye!